Good to be with you again. I'm sure many of you have seen the signs on the highways and in front of every Catholic church. Bishop making it clear that on the Monday of Holy Week in every Catholic church there'll be priests available for confessions from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. His way of highlighting the sacrament of reconciliation. And certainly last Sunday in the Gospel of Luke, we had that famous story of the prodigal son, the ultimate story of reconciliation. The son who had gone off and squandered everything and came back to the father, and to his surprise was welcomed by the father. Went out of his way to reach out to him, to embrace him, to kiss him, to welcome him back to the family. All Jesus' way of saying that's the way of our God and Father is. We human beings are called to live in society, in family, communities, neighborhoods, yes, in church. And inevitably, that leads to relationships, and at times there are difficult moments in those relationships. There are misunderstandings. People have conflicts with one another. And I'm amazed sometimes in my ministry that I realize someone is carrying a grudge against somebody else in the family, or some other friend, for years and years. So sad, because we Christians are indeed called to be the ministers of reconciliation, not only to be reconciled with our God, but with one another. I recall the words that were written by the author C.S. Lewis, who said, "A Christian is not a person who never goes wrong, but a person who is enabled to repent and pick himself or herself up and begin over again after each stumble, because the Christ life is inside him, repairing him all the time, enabling him to repeat in some degree the kind of voluntary death which Christ himself carried out." Yes, Jesus tells us over and over and over again in the Gospels we read every Lent that the Father sent him with a mission to lay down his life to reconcile the human race to our God. I was struck by the most recent edition of the Christopher newsletters, which is entitled The Gift of Reconciliation. And he mentions several stories of reconciliation. In one, in 1992, a man named Joe Avila was driving drunk on the freeway in Fresno, California, and he caused a crash that killed a young teenage girl, Amy Wall. He tried to escape, but he was arrested, sentenced to 12 years in prison. And as he spent those years in prison, he changed, realized the evil he had done, wished in some way he could be reconciled with that family. And after he got out of jail, he heard that girl's brother was looking to talk to him, wondering whether he wanted to vent his anger to him or be reconciled. So he was glad one day when that brother came to him. And he said, I wanted so much to say, I'm so sorry for being responsible for the death of your beloved sister. And the family had provided him with even tapes of her when she was alive to realize what a wonderful person she had been. And he had killed this person. And to his surprise, the brother extended him mercy and forgiveness, forgave him for what he had done. Yes, that took a great deal for that man to reach that point where he could forgive the man who had killed his own sister. And it struck me because the Christopher notes mentioned strange family members, broken friendships, bitter fights with strangers. These situations can be all too common, resulting in feelings of regret and a longing for reconciliation. For the Christian, reconciliation is a central tenet of our faith, modeled by Jesus. It recognizes God's order above the damage caused by human sinfulness. What's most powerful about reconciliation is that it takes both sides in a dispute to set aside hurts, ego, and being right to restore what was lost. We see it so often in our society. How many hours recently have been spent in the public media reflecting on the Academy Awards last Sunday, in which one celebrity slapped another in view of everyone to express his anger. I think many people recognize, our society seems to be falling apart. People vent their anger over the slightest little thing. And we experience angry drivers weaving in and out of the highway. And we think, my gosh, that person's going to cause an awful accident. How many people still seem to carry such grudges over sometimes even minor things, differences of opinion, differences of political opinions, unwilling to even speak to anyone who is different, who has a different opinion. We Christians are really challenged to overcome all those differences, to seek reconciliation, to promote it in our communities. We keep remembering those words of Jesus, even as he was dying on a cross, forgiving all those who were doing it. Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. And so often, we need to be echoing that in our own lives. Father, forgive them. They do not know what they are doing. I hope indeed this season of Lent is a time of reconciliation for you. That you come to receive God's gift in the sacrament of reconciliation, confession. We're available for confession every Saturday from 3:30 to 4:30. I remember Father Peterman saying years ago to me, as he often would fill in for me when I was on vacation, that it seemed to him we had more confessions in our parish than any of the other churches that he filled in at times. And yes, some days I am rejoicing that the hour of confessions is filled with confessions. So come to us Saturday afternoon. We will have confessions again Good Friday afternoon. The Monday of Holy Week, Reconciliation Monday from 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 8 p.m. One of the priests will be available here for confessions. Always a God calling you to receive the gift and to extend the gift of forgiveness and mercy to others. God bless you. God bless all those whom you love and keep you safe.